What's going on, everybody? The Germ here in Cooperstown, New York, and welcome to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Let's go inside and check it out. Okie dokie, here we are, the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. We already got our tickets, so we're gonna go ahead and head inside. Well, not really, we didn't get tickets, she didn't give us any tickets. They don't do that anymore. As you guys can see, I got my Cleveland Indians jersey on. Now, I am not a Cleveland Indians fan. However, if I was, my favorite player would be Rick Vaughn. Let me know in the comments below if you guys know who Rick Vaughn is. Now we're going to see a lot here in this museum. Babe Ruth was probably my favorite player as a kid. Looking back on time, he was like a hero. Here is a baseball here that was converted into a lighter and is signed by Babe Ruth himself. Also by Lou Gehrig as well. But look at that, Babe Ruth's autograph right there. He touched this ball. The ball I'm about to show you guys is from the first series of games in which admission was charged back on September 10th, 1858. When baseball became a business. Look at that. That ball is in rough shape. Look at this primitive baseball catcher's mask, as well as this inflatable vest. Look how primitive things were back then. Probably one of the most known players ever to play the game of baseball, the number 3. You guys all know who it is. Herman Ruth, also known as Babe Ruth. This is absolutely amazing. I wish I could have seen Babe Ruth play. They got his hat down here. My God. I'm not even a Yankees fan. I'm a Mets fan, but this is something you can definitely appreciate. And they're gonna have all kinds of Babe Ruth stuff here. This is actually a Babe Ruth section. So this brick is from a saloon run by Babe Ruth's father. And this piece of stone is from St. Mary's School for boys in Baltimore, where Babe Ruth spent much of his childhood. I've actually been to Babe Ruth's childhood home in Baltimore. If you're ever in Baltimore, it's actually right near the Orioles baseball stadium. It's like within walking distance. Go check that out. It's pretty cool. How about a Western Union telegram to Babe Ruth in late 1925 season for a suspension and fine of $5,000. That's a lot of money now. Imagine how much money that was back in 1925. Babe Ruth's glove from the 1926 World Series. Ticket from May 28th, 1927. Babe hits one of his first record 60 homers. This is a photo from Babe dressing next to his locker prior to his final appearance at Yankee Stadium on June 13th, 1948. You can see the locker in the background. This is actually that locker. And I remember the last time I was here, if you look real carefully, it's a shame kind of it's open. I wish they could have it closed, or so you could close it. But if you look, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it with the camera. But you can actually see it says Babe right there. And let's see if it says a number 3 on the other side. There you go, Ruth, and then you can see that in the photograph as well. It's always interesting seeing the more interesting stories. Chief Bender received this money in 1941, 40 years after it was owed to him. Bender was a college student in 1901, agreed to pitch for the Dillsburg, PA team for $5. This $1.80 was the balance due to him. Old coins, the V nickel. That's pretty awesome. Love seeing unique stuff like that. The San Diego chicken. See, I'm learning things too. I've never heard of the San Diego chicken. Anyone know about this poplar with a question mark mascot? Of course, popularized by the movie A League of Their Own. You got the girls baseball. Girls in baseball? Fantastic movie if you guys never seen it. And I was just informed that none of the movie was actually filmed here in Cooperstown, or at least the museum. There was the bus pulling up to Doubleday Field outside. And here are some of the ball caps and uniforms from those major league teams. Of course, established during World War II when all the boys went overseas. That's the city of Racine. Which one was the Peaches? I know there's the Peaches. And look at this, they wore skirts. Isn't that incredible? How do you play baseball in a skirt? I don't know how they did it. And of course, because they wore those skirts, they would often get injured. Look at that injury. Oh, that does not feel good. God, that must hurt. Yeah, they try to be ladies and also play baseball. And sliding in a skirt is not the wisest decision, but that's what happens when you want to be competitive. Gotta say, I love the exhibit, and I love how it looks like 50s and 60s with the olive green. And there it is, the Rockford Peaches. Some of the other teams here as well. I think in the movie they only mentioned about 4 teams. I think there might have been about 6 or 8 teams total. And there's actually a mention of the film right here, A League of Their Own. Terrific movie if you haven't seen it. Stars a lot of great actors. Madonna, Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, Rosie O'Donnell, just to mention a few. So terrific film if you haven't seen it. Just remember, there's no crying in baseball. Now, of course, baseball isn't popular just here in the United States. Here are some artifacts from other countries like Cuba. I knew baseball was real big in Cuba. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Venezuela. Gotta love this old Expos jersey, which is the jersey of Dennis Martinez. We're the Latino section. He's the first Latin pitcher to throw a perfect game in the majors, retired with the most wins of any other Latin American. Now, of course, you guys might recognize some of these famous Latino players. I always love seeing the different promotional items. Look at the, is that for Sammy Sosa? And the Wheaties box here. Got some Pepsi logos here. And this one's my favorite. The salsa mix. That's awesome. Is that Jose Reyes? Yeah, that's Jose Reyes for the Mets. That's awesome. I love that. I loved Jose Reyes. Of course, any baseball fan's gonna recognize this gentleman, Jackie Robinson. And he's the one that really crossed the race barrier. And I can't imagine what this man went through. And it's amazing to be someone that strong-willed to ignore what people were doing back in those days. Some Americans hated Jackie Robinson for crossing the color line and wrote various letters to him. Rickey asked Robinson to turn the other cheek during his early years with the Dodgers. Following his career, Robinson discussed how difficult it had been to rise above the racial and hatred he encountered. Now, of course, Jackie Robinson played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, not the Los Angeles Dodgers. And in New York, they actually named in Citi Field the Jackie Robinson Rotunda. And Jackie Robinson's number with the Dodgers also retired now. Well, they certainly have all kinds of things. I wasn't expecting to see some of this jacket belonging to President Barack Obama, who was a White Sox fan, which he wore when throwing out the first pitch of the 2009 All-Star game in St. Louis. These seats come from Cleveland's Progressive Field, which opened in 1994 as Jacobs Field. From 1995 to 2001, the Indians sold out 455 straight games, a major league record until broken by Boston in 2008. I'll tell you what, that 455 games straight of selling out games might have been a record back then, but when I attended Progressive Field years later, it was desolate. There was nobody there. It was so desolate that I was able to sit on the third base line for about 30, 40 bucks. And at the time, that was just crazy. Beautiful stadium though. I remember buying this jersey. I bought it there at the stadium, and when I bought it, because I spent over 50 bucks, they gave me 2 free tickets to attend a future game, which I was just visiting the area for the day. I wasn't able to attend, but yeah, long way away from there. It was more like the movie Major League. As a kid, I remember going to Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, and always getting one of these hats full of ice cream. I was a Yankees fan as a kid, and I remember getting that exact baseball hat. We had to get one of these every single time. I had so many of them back in the day. Now I have none. Now, you've probably seen these in maybe Target. I've seen these in the last couple of years. They've reappeared. I remember having one of these as a kid back in the 80s. This was just basically before the Game Boy. Pretty primitive stuff, but we enjoyed playing back in the day. There you go. Here's my New York Mets, the 1986 Mets. Of course, the year they won the World Series against Boston. Imagine being there for this. There he goes. Imagine being there for that. We haven't won a World Series since '86. There's a beautiful Doc Gooden jersey. This is all the way back from 1984. I was only 4 years old at the time. I remember seeing games with him playing. It was pretty cool. I remember going to Shea Stadium, and we used to sell papers, newspapers. The paper was called the Poughkeepsie Journal, and I delivered the papers. And if you sold subscriptions and you sold enough, they took us on a bus, all the kids. I think you could take one parent, and we went to Shea Stadium. And I remember my mom was scared to death of being in those stands in the bleachers. We were pretty high up in the mezzanine area. And I went down to the elevators by myself. I must have been 11, 12 years old. I was very independent. And I stood by the elevators, and I remember 2 Mets came walking out. Daryl Boston and Keith Miller, who are not well-known Mets. And I remember as a little kid asking, "Are you a real baseball player?" and getting my ball signed. I still have that ball to this day. And it's probably my most cherished memory of being at a baseball game. Anyone else remember these Bo Jackson commercials? I loved the Bo Jackson as a teenager. Bo knows football. Bo knows baseball. Is that Sonny Bono? Bo knows golf. 4. Here's some very popular baseball movies. The Sandlot, Major League. 8 Men Out, Major League. A League of Their Own. Little Big League. Rookie of the Year. Tell me, out of these movies, what do you guys like? What is your favorite? I really love The League of Their Own and Major League. I would say those two are tied for me. I love both of them. Rookie of the Year, when that came out, I was a little too old. There was also another movie called Angels in the Outfield. I remember the Yankees were always the bad guys. Almost forgot about this one, Field of Dreams. That is definitely an awesome movie. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below what your favorite baseball movie is. I'm sure that's not all of them. There's a whole bunch more. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Best ones. I'm going to go with Major League, League of Their Own, and Field of Dreams are my top three, not in that order. But you guys tell me. And who doesn't remember this? Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire with the home run hitting contest. Came out later on that McGwire was using steroids. Very exciting time back in baseball. My first game was actually a Yankees-Oakland game at Yankee Stadium, and I actually saw Mark McGwire. Of course, you can't forget about these guys. Every year, new baseball games, new sport games come out. They are the least valuable games later on when it comes to games on consoles. Very rarely does a sports game become worth any kind of money at all. Usually by the time the next one comes out, the previous one's worth maybe $2 or $3. Here are some more video games. Now, I gotta say, out of all the baseball games that played on the Wii, the Bigs was my favorite. I loved playing the Bigs on the Wii. I actually enjoyed playing that game. I really didn't enjoy playing the sports games, but the Bigs was a great sports game to play. That was just one of 3 floors. We were on the 2nd floor, heading up to the 3rd floor now. Showing you guys what I can, trying to be respectful of other people. There are other people around, so sometimes it can be tough or difficult to show you guys things. Here's a crowd of people waiting to go, or maybe rooting for the Germ to move on. You guys remember going through these turnstiles? Here's a turnstile from Yankee Stadium. Try my best here to get items from all the different teams so you guys can enjoy them. These are seats from the Vet, which was Philadelphia Stadium before they replaced it with, I think it's Citizens Bank Park. And here is a piece of original wrought iron fencing from, I think it was from Wrigley. Let's see. Comiskey Park, home of the Chicago White Sox. So there's a piece of fencing. Now they're not gonna let us touch these ones here, but these are from old Tiger Stadium, and these are old wooden seats. I've actually sat in wooden seats once before at, what is it called? What's the stadium called? In Boston, Fenway Park. I can't believe I forgot that. But these are from Tiger Stadium. If you guys look at this and you guys see Citi Field, that's because Citi Field looks just like this. This is of course Ebbetsfield. And look at this. Home plate from Ebbetsfield. It is painted yellow for greater visibility. Here's something I didn't know. Ebbetsfield was the first site of the first televised big league baseball game on August 26, 1939. Now, of course, Ebbetsfield has been going quite a while. It's actually been going since 1957. Where Ebbetsfield is now, I believe it is a housing complex, so kind of a shame. I've seen videos of people going there and there's really nothing there. I think there's a small plaque. I don't think most people know, and I want to say there might still be a staircase in that area that I've seen videos of that's closed off. But definitely something I'd like to visit in the future. I think it would be really cool to see. Here's a free souvenir that's been lost to art now. The baseball ticket. I don't know, do any teams still go on baseball tickets? I think everything's pretty much done on the phone or print at home. It's kind of a shame. Even here at the Hall of Fame, we didn't get a ticket to enter, where the last time I attended the Baseball Hall of Fame, we got a ticket. No ticket today, and I don't think you get tickets at baseball games any longer. Of course, I love New York baseball, and the Giants used to actually play in New York, and Giant Stadium, or I can't say it was Giant Stadium because we have a Giant Stadium. It was called the Polo Grounds, which lasted from 1911 to 1963. And of course, the Mets came, I want to say it was in 1964, the New York Mets came, or it was later than that. But here's an original turnstile from the Polo Grounds that's here. I know there's not much here for the Polo Grounds because it was so long ago, but this thing is so old that The plaque on the top is totally, you can't even read it. It's just not legible at all. Now, as the Mets fan, I'm supposed to hate the Philadelphia Phillies, but this is the Philadelphia Fanatic, which is probably one of the most well-known baseball mascots. I could be wrong. You guys let me know in the comments below. Of course, as a Mets fan, I love Mr. Met. Not sure if the costume's here or not, but if it is, I'm going to show you guys. My daughter said that a reminder or something from the Muppets, and it's so funny that she said this because I used to have this set up my ringtone on my phone. You know the Muppets where you go, "Mana do 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 do, mana do 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 do." Is that how this thing came about? I don't know, but that she's right. It does remind me of that as well. Here's something amazing from New York's baseball histories, or anyone old enough that watches my videos that's been to Ebbetsfield. There's the Cornerstone, and I think that says 1912 on it. It looks like 1912. It's definitely in rough shape. You would assume that they knew to keep this and were very careful and cautious not to break it, but as you guys can see, it has a nice chunk missing out of it. I wonder where that chunk is. Is it in another museum maybe? And just in case you guys think this thing is thin, this thing is like, this is a thick piece. It's a very chunky piece here that you can grab. So it's not like it's a little thing. This is a couple inches thick. So that piece has to be somewhere. After reading this, the Ebbetsfield Cornerstone was saved in 1960 when the ballpark was raised. Opening the time capsule behind it revealed numerous documents and trinkets from 1912, the year construction began. So I wonder if they had it, maybe hit this with a sledgehammer, not thinking of saving it, because that would make sense right there. And I wonder where the stuff is that was behind it. This is for all you Lou Gehrig fans. Former record holder of playing 2,130 consecutive games, and Lou wore this uniform on that last game back in 1939. Wade Boggs jersey. Wade Boggs made history in this jersey on August 7, 1999, becoming the first player to enter the 3,000 hit club with a home run. I think anyone can appreciate that. Even as not being a Yankees fan, 27 World Series won as of 1996. And here's the World Series trophy. I love the flag. All the little flags have the teams on them. This 2019 Nationals ring has got to be the gaudiest thing I've ever seen. If you see it next to the other rings, like there's 2019, here's 10 years before it, the Yankees one. It's definitely gaudy as well, but this ring is gigantic compared to the Yankees ring. It's crazy how insanely large that thing is. It's unwearable. Then you look at how modest they were back in 1929, and let's see who won the World Series back in 1929. And there it is, 1929 Philadelphia Athletics. So while we're over here, a question for you guys. Have you ever attended a World Series game? I actually have. I have a really crazy story behind that. There used to be a display over here. I don't know if it's here or not. Maybe it's in the next room. We're going to take a little peek over here. Nope. I think, if I remember correctly, it was right behind me. And it was the, was it 2016? New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. I went to that game. I went to Halloween night game, and I didn't have tickets. Tried to get tickets through StubHub. Me and my girlfriend at the time could not get tickets. Ended up parking in Manhattan, taking the subway down to Citi Field. Without any tickets whatsoever, and ended up getting me, her, and another person in. With no tickets at all. I guess the power of charm, we'll call it. But it took about 20-30 minutes. I think I got in third or fourth inning, but it was a great time. Unfortunately, the Mets lost, and you guys all know the history behind that. My memory was off by just about a year. It wasn't 2016. It was actually 2015. My memory's a little off. And just to think, instead of saying Kansas City, that ring should say New York Mets. You know, I haven't been watching baseball lately. I guess 2021, I need to really start watching it. I really enjoyed going to the games. 2021, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series after 26 years. So, unfortunately, the Mets go even further back than that. So, look at this. I got to make my own baseball card. There's what I look like today. And I'm going to go ahead and use this photo. And I got to email it to myself. So, that's pretty neat. Okay, I was struggling here because apparently they switched to just a C, and I can't show you guys the card because now it has my name on it. And what should I pick here? Let's pick I don't know, man. Should I be the manager? It's kind of boring though. Yeah, let's do the manager. So I went back, changed it up a little bit here to the Germ, so you guys didn't see my first and last name here. And that's what my cards look like. I think that's pretty neat. And they're gonna email these to me and they're free. This was an exhibit that was not here the last visit I had. And they are baseball cards. And we all collected baseball cards as a kid. And most of us either threw them away, or our moms threw them away, or we gave them away, or maybe put them in the basement or attic and they got ruined. But I remember I collected a lot of cards from the 90s, being that I'm 41, and I remember the cards come with a pack of gum on them, and those gums being absolutely disgusting later on. A little hard stick of gum. And you can still find these actually now, these little hangers. That one actually has a Toys R Us tag on it, so that's pretty neat. But these were the cards I had right here. Again, working for that newspaper, the Poughkeepsie Journal, I remember if we sold subscriptions, and I think it was 1 or 2 subscriptions, we would get a case, kind of like this, of baseball cards. The ones I hated the most were the Donruss, but you could pick what you wanted. I always picked either the Flair or the Score, and that was the exact year right there. There was the 91 Flairs and the 91 Scores, and they were really cool. The Flairs, I don't think had gum in them, or the Score cards. I think it was the Topps cards that had them. And I just remember those gums were hard as heck. And if you ever try one later on, you'll probably get ill, to be honest. They're really, really disgusting. If you guys remember as a kid having one of these baseball binders, of course I had a binder just like these, but I actually had this exact case. And it's funny seeing this here today because just a couple days ago, I was in a consignment store and I saw this exact case inside the consignment store, and I haven't seen it since I was probably about 11, but I had exactly one of these cases. Now, there's no way to know whose this was, but wouldn't that be funny? I'm sure there was millions of them made if that was mine. It does have the Mets sticker on it. But actually, back then, I was a Yankees fan. Ew, the Yankees. They actually have these drawers that you can pull out. They're like little pullouts, and it says cards that your mother threw away. And 27. My mom never threw my cards away. I think it was just basically me. But let's pull out 27. Let's see if we get 27. And these are the cards I would have had as a kid. Not these ones here, because I hated Bowman. I've never seen these cards before. But right here, here's some Donruss. Didn't like Donruss, but Flair. Had a lot of Flair cards. And pretty much completed the whole entire set just by opening packs. And my daughter's with me. She said there's more on the back. Yeah, none of these look familiar, these actual cards themselves. The other ones that I collected were Upper Deck. These are the Score cards. I did collect those. Probably have a lot of these still back home. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this visit to Cooperstown. Baseball Hall of Fame is amazing if you're a baseball fan, even if you're a quasi-baseball fan like me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't even show you 5% of the museum. It's amazing here. There's so much to see. Leave a comment below. Let me know your favorite bowl team. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget, hit your notification button. We'll see you soon.
That is strike 3.